Okay, let's see, did that work? Oh, okay. Did somebody else? That's me talking. Oh, nice. All right, so now it seems to be working. Let's try getting this again. Let's Jitsi in a different bubble. This thing. Yeah. And okay, so we will share my. Let's do it like this, and split it like that. Let's see what will happen if I try and share the screen like this. Okay, let's put Jitsi on the side, that, and like that. Hopefully this will work. Share your screen. Application window. Yep. That's annoying. Okay. Let's see. Did that work? We're streaming actually now. Okay, so the screen sharing seems to be working. Let's just stop this stupid thing. All right, so let's talk about this stuff. And 1 second, so let's go here, and I'm going to talk about LBS, and I'm going to start recording. What the? I paused you. Why can't I? All right. And where do we go? Where are those things? Okay. Okay, so what's been going on, if you haven't been following along, is that Richard Stallman has quit. It took too long getting this stupid stream up and running. So he has quit like everything that he's ever been doing. He quit. He quit MIT. Apparently, he resigned from MIT. He resigned from the free software movement as the president, and he also resigned from the board of directors, I think. Oh, so yeah, here. So he started the Free Software Foundation, and he resigned from president and the board of directors, and he also apparently quit MIT. So there's been a lot of people see this as a good thing. A lot of people see this as a bad thing. I have always said that I think that he is probably the proper medical term is a weirdo. There's always been something really off about him. I never thought that he should be a public figure. So wait, let's just get in about what's going about. what's going on. So there's this whole Stallman, if you're watching this, you probably know, if you watch my videos where I talk about Emacs, you probably know who Richard Stallman is. He's the guy that created Emacs, and he started a free software movement, and he was works at the AI lab in MIT, and he's kind of a really strange guy, and has a lot of strange ideas that I do not agree with at all. But anybody else who watches my videos know that I really like Emacs, so there are some ideas with his that I do agree with. Jeffrey Epstein, whatever. Don't want to talk about him too much. You can search on the Google or the DuckDuckGo or whatever you're using. Find out what he did. He apparently killed himself, and he was kind of like running a brothel for rich people, and apparently some of the girls were underage. Okay, and Marvin Minsky, which I haven't heard about. He was apparently also worked at MIT. Someone named him as that he used the services of Jeffrey Epstein. So I've heard that a lot of people have used his services. You can leave what you want. Okay. So Stallman sent out an email. So apparently talking about this thing, I guess it was. People said it wasn't in place. It wasn't the right place. But I mean, hello. But where'd it go? But the guy worked at MIT. And so I think it was kind of appropriate to send out the email about it. Okay, and he says that the accused person, you can read this email if you want. Do a search for on It's Fuss, the Richard Stallman thing. You'll find the copy of the mail that he sent out there. And basically, the gist of the email is that that people should be careful with their words. He says that what I guess what the normal thing to assume was that where'd it go? He says the most plausible scenario was that whatever she was doing, she was working for Epstein, and she presented herself to the Minsky, I think his name was Minsky. She presented herself as willing and probably didn't disclose her age. That's what I said here, but I think that's the gist that he's trying to say, is that Minsky didn't know what he said, and so people were saying that we're using the word assaulting, and he says that implies violence, and I think that's a kind of a reasonable claim. He also says that let's presume that was true, like for the sake of argument. And I think that's also really a what you call it, a reasonable thing to assume. I mean, so nobody's going to say that he's not believing the victim and things like that. And he says that he doesn't have any reason to not believe her, which I've seen a lot of claims out there on Twitter that he's blaming the victim and he's not believing the victim, which is not true at all. He says explicitly here that he presumes that what she's saying is true, and he doesn't have any reason not to believe her. But he does say presumes that's true because there hasn't been a trial, and I mean, he's not been convicted. So that's that. But I think this is a very fair thing to say. He says, let's presume that was true. And he says, there's no reason to disbelieve. Okay. So there was a kind of, so he's calling, I think, on people to be more precise with their words and not to ruin somebody's life or their reputation, to accuse them of something more than what they did. I'm not. I think this should be clear. I would hope this is clear, and it's kind of stupid that I have to clarify myself on this, but I'm not condoning anything that's going on there. I mean, at all. So I don't know if he did or not, but I'm sure that there's a lot of the people that would condemn Richard Stallman are the same people that would claim that people should be that went to legalize prostitution and things like that. And I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So I'm going to try and ping Sally. Will be very much fun. More fun if he is in here. Let's see, who else was it? I'm going to ping some other people that actually. Let's see. Was he C8? See, there's somebody else that wants to chat about this. Oh, somebody's here. Hey, if you're in here, there's a little thing that you can type a message on the side. Hi. And what was the other guy that was talking about that? Okay. So I'm just inviting some. Oh, where is he? Somebody else showed up on the Jitsi, so I can see you there. Hopefully you can hear me. Nobody actually came on the YouTube. So what we got up until now, I've tried to explain what the story is. You're muted. I'm going to unmute you. So if you want to be unmuted, there's a little thing button on the side that you can raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, I'll unmute you. So you can join the chat. So somebody disconnected. Okay, fine. So disconnect. Whatever. Don't care. So what am I saying up now? So somebody says that started a campaign to remove Richard Stallman. I don't know if this is. She says, if this is what MIT stands for, then yes, burn it to the ground. I don't think that by him, from the mail, it just said that he wanted people to use precise speech. I think that's reasonable. And I think especially at a university, I mean, especially in a computer science course, computer science department, there should be precise speech. If you don't use precise speech, and the syntax error. We're not talking about semantics. I mean, if you use certain words instead of it has a different meaning and causes a different outcome. Now, does that mean that this is what MIT stands for? I mean, so MIT, I think, should stand for precise speech. For them not removing him not removing him from his position, does that mean that they agree with what Minsky did? No. There seems to be another problem, though, that MIT has been accepting money from Epstein. Now, that's, I think, a bigger problem. I mean, he's dead now, so, I mean, not really giving it back isn't really going to help. But maybe MIT probably should check if they have any buildings or something named after him. I could probably do my research, but I'm not going to. Probably let out a statement that says that they don't agree with him. But they might have done that. I also haven't done my research. I don't think that's something that if they burn it to the ground and start from nothing, that they're going to come out with something better. People seem to have this opinion that this thought that they can do everything better. Don't be so full of yourself. You're going to have your own foolishness too, and there's going to be ignored by mainstream media, and then she's picked up by activists. I don't think an activist is like, I don't know, activist seems like somebody, it's like the opposite of active. They're just, these are some of the things that I do want to get. She was angry that reporters didn't respond to her. Okay. But you're angry. I mean, doing things out of anger is not how we deal with things. We're done with brilliant jerks defending child exploitation, but that's not what he did. I mean, he may have done that in the past, but this is not what this thing was about. It's about, okay, so the guy did a stupid thing, but be precise in your speech. Opa. That was weird. That was actually a link to the Twitter. Oh. Yeah, see all the type of things. We get so many people like this. It's crazy. So let's go. Where did it go? Okay, this is the one that I really want to talk about. So Richard Stallman, like I said at the beginning, is a weirdo. So let's get out of the way. I want to make sure that everyone knows that. Oh, somebody else is on the YouTube. Hi, YouTuber. So, Richard Stallman is a weirdo. So let's get that. Let's make that clear. I don't. Yeah, Tory XT. I would suggest that you go to the. You can chat faster on Jitsi. What day? Why is it so that reading is so? What, I can't send that link? Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. So. Yeah. So I heard you. Oh, you guys probably can't hear this. So I have this thing that reads out comments. So it's kind of hear it. Okay, so back to where were we? Okay, so this is the one that I really want to get into. I've said now, and I've always said that I think Richard Stallman is a weirdo. I mean, there's something clearly wrong with the guy. He's not well in the head. So I do not think that he should have been I think he says here something that this was a sensitive topic, and somebody that's the head of some kind of, where did he say it here? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a controversial topic, and Stallman's reckless intellectual discourse on a sensitive matter like this would not have gone well. Okay, look, he doesn't have that sense. Hi, Jitsi person. So you can raise your hand if you want me to unmute your mic, and then we can have an actual conversation about this. There's a button to raise your hand on the side. If not, you can chat, and if not, then you can listen. Okay, again, this is the one that I really want to talk about, is that Richard Stallman is not right in the head. He should not be the head of any public face for any type of organization. I think that's kind of clear. Should he not be on the board? That's kind of, I don't think so, especially for a thing that he started. So why am I saying that he's not right in the head and he shouldn't be? That they're accusing him of ableism. Now, I don't see anything. I've been called an ableist, some other word that I'm not going to repeat here. I'll tell a story about that in a second. But this is exactly what they're doing to him. The guy is not well in the head. This guy, he needs to go to some kind of, he needs to be in therapy. He needs to be on some kind of medication. And so they're attacking him for he has a lack of understanding, like a serious lack of understanding for cultural norms and what's acceptable to say and what's not acceptable to say. I don't think he thought twice about sending out that message. I think he put a lot into that mail. I think he put a lot of thought into the mail itself, but I don't think he considered the consequences about it. I think he's, so the other person that was on Jitsi left. Got 3 people on YouTube though, so that's decent. But the Jitsi chat will be faster, should be. Where'd I go? Yeah, so I don't think he understands the weird stuff that he does. Everybody's seen the video that circles around of him giving a talk and he eats something off his foot. I mean, a normal person doesn't do that. The guy is clearly mentally disabled. I mean, he's one, and he might be a genius for all the stuff that he's done, but at the same time, he's clearly mentally disabled. I don't know, socially disabled, or what would you call it, emotionally disabled. Something's wrong with him. So kicking him out and attacking him this way because he doesn't have the ability to understand that he's gone over the line, I don't think he still doesn't understand it. And I don't think he's changed. I think he has a mental disability. I think it's clear that anybody's ever watched him. I remember him seeing an interview that he did with Brian Lunduk, and he was just like, I know that, I mean, you can't talk to the guy. It's impossible to talk to him. So what was the reason? I mean, has anybody ever, if you've watched an interview with him, he's not all there. So this is exactly what the things that they're accusing of him. They're saying that he's an ableist. I mean, this isn't really a sentence. The pedophilia, the ableism, the misogyny. But they're accusing him of ableism, and this is exactly what they're doing to him. Guy is mentally disabled, and SMS. We're having elections here now, and it's crazy outside. Okay, what was the thing? So they're accusing him of ableism, but that's exactly what they're doing. They want to kick him out for not having the I don't know, emotional ability. He's emotionally disabled, or cognitively disabled, or whatever, the cognitively different, whatever. There's some weird word that they're using for it now. So, putting that aside, I've been accused of being ableist, and I think I am. If somebody doesn't have the mental ability or the ability to be socially acceptable, he shouldn't be the face of an organization. that makes me ableist. So let's tell the story of why I got called an ableist. Ableist something. I don't want to repeat the word. Somebody posted on Twitter, I don't know, they deleted it since then, that in regard to something that Uncle Bob Martin said, something about TDD. He was always talking about, well, okay. That's so. He said something about TDD, and then somebody else said that because of my ADD or ADHD or whatever, I literally can't do TDD. So you don't know what TDD is, test-driven development. You can read Uncle Bob's books about that, about why you should be doing this. Also, there's other guys have written them, but whatever. So this person tweeted something something like, so if I can't, because of my literally because of my ADHD, I literally cannot do TDD. So does that mean I can't be a good developer or software engineer or something like that? I answered, yes, that means you can't, you don't have, no, you don't, that, yes, that means you can't be a good software engineer. I said something, it was probably, if you literally cannot do TDD, it means you cannot be a good software engineer. You don't have the skills. You don't have the mental ability to do, I'm not saying, now, I didn't say that you have to do it this way. And if you're more comfortable doing it another way, but if you literally do not have the mental ability to do TDD, then no, if you literally cannot, it means no, you shouldn't be a software engineer. Not everybody has to be. Not every profession, not everybody has to do every profession. So software development might not be for you. Only two guys still here. Okay. So I think that's the same thing here. Richard Stallman doesn't have the ability to be the public face of an organization. He should have stuck to what he did. I mean, he has his opinions on free software, I think, is what made the Free Software Federation and what it is, and his opinions, and it's kind of, I guess you call it activism for that type of stuff. I mean, he has his place, and but he shouldn't have been the front face of that. Now, that being said, I really don't think that the way that people just dumped on him was also not. I don't think this is a win for anybody. I don't think this is a win for anybody. I don't think this is the way that anything should be taken care of. See, oh, somebody give me a notification on here. Yeah, somebody, naming is hard. Let's see if naming is hard once again. What do you call himself? Wyatt Werp. Next up is, no, that's not him. Wyatt. This guy. And okay. Guys that like my status but don't come to talk about it. Oh man, I should know. I should turn off those notifications so I can come in. I lost my things. So, marginalized groups in tech. So that's what they're talking about. Okay, you want to talk about marginalized groups. I'm not going to say exactly what I am, but I have gone on lots of job interviews where I live. And I have been rejected jobs because of, I guess you would call it, my marginalized group. Um, I don't know how much to get into this, but so I've had people to. I'm not going to get into it. Okay, but I'm just rambling here, not really making any sense. So the other person here that's actually watching this, so yeah. So I want to go back to and look at some Twitters about this, because I keep getting. Let's say I got some weird stuff in my Twitter here. Like, he needs to disappear. This is what the type of thing needs to disappear. What a disgusting sexist thing. Okay, I agree. He's disgusting. I don't think he's sexist. He has some weird views, and I don't think to call him a sexist pig from that male, that's not right. I mean, you can't learn it from that. We need to get loud about this. And the same person here said somewhere else that this is a win for women in tech. I don't think this is not a win for anybody. These type of things. This is not the way that civilized people act. Is that you yell and scream and curse and blame people for things that, I mean, if he said these things, if he had done the things, then he should be in jail. It's not that we need to throw him out of the Free Software Federation or from other things. If he's guilty of doing crimes, he should be in jail. And I 100% agree with that. And to say that he shouldn't be the face of the Free Software Federation, that's for sure not. I mean, that's for them to decide. That's their company. So, or their donators can do that. To go out and screaming and blasting people. I mean, look at how many likes this. 330 likes on this guy here. What they got? Almost 4,000 people like this. This is not mature. This is, I think, this childish. Yeah, this is what this guy says. Always nice to see non-programmers join a mob and increase our effectiveness as a result. So he said mobbing. So this is. I thought that he was talking about that the people were making a mob to get rid of Richard Stallman. So no, he's talking about mob programming. Oh, this thing. If you left because of creeps like Richard Stallman, come back. This is an honest question. Does anybody know that anybody that quit tech and went and found a different profession because of people like because of creeps? I don't think that's happened. And I've met a lot of nasty people in all kinds of professions. There's nasty people. It doesn't mean that the profession is that there's something wrong with it. This whole I don't know. I don't know what to do. So he says, yeah, this is a good article. I think that everybody should read this. So you see that they did the same type of thing to Linus, so they kind of kicked him out of Linux because he's kind of, I guess, yeah, used a lot of foul language. It wasn't so nice. No, it's fine. So don't work with him. I mean, nobody's forcing you to. And also, I mean, if you're not good at, I think that most of his things was he's berating people for not being good at what they were doing. I think, okay, it's his project. I mean, so he wants good people working on it. I don't think he any of these people are rejecting the works of people because they're women or what are the word they use, marginalized groups. I think the thing was that I think the whole thing that happened with Linus was that was about a code of conduct, and there was one of these. I'm kind of divided on the whole code of conduct things because when I'm maybe you've noticed that I'm kind of conservative when it comes to speech. Nobody's watching now, so whatever. I'm gonna quit this and so that I'm kind of conservative when it comes to speech. I don't like foul language. Certain topics I think shouldn't be talked about, especially not on a tech forum. And so a lot of these code of conducts say that whatever your lifestyle is, then we should be you should be accepting to it and not not talk nasty about people. So my opinion on these type of things is don't talk about it. I mean, I don't talk about my marginalized group on tech stuff on tech forums. So I mean, I guess it's kind of I do let a little bit of it show, but I don't talk about it como excessively. So I think that's the right way to go. You do the work. I mean, the people who judge you on your work, if you're doing good work, people don't really care so much about all the other stuff. I mean, so I think that was one of the problems that Richard Stallman has. Right? He has some weird opinions on what are acceptable relationships. I think he's more on that kind of like libertarians. He says the view is if you're not hurting anybody, then do whatever you want. So this goes into relationships with people who are under the legal age. I think people should also be aware that these legal ages. Do your research on this, but it differs from state to state, country to country. So, but whatever about that. So I'm just saying that it's not 100% thing that everybody agrees on. What is the legal age? So, but basically, he's sharing his opinion and his weird. I think he has some. I don't agree with a lot of his politics. I don't think I agree with almost any of his politics. His political stuff that he puts out there. I think it's a mistake for him to put it out there. I mean, he's trying to. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. The whole thing is that if you want people to judge you for your ability to code or translate or whatever you're doing, then let them judge you on that. Don't give them other things that. Don't be a weirdo. Is basically what I'm saying. So Richard Stallman was a weirdo. He didn't act in an acceptable manner. What was in a way that was socially acceptable, and what I mean. I mean, like, what's acceptable currently in society? I think that the way to make your marginalized group more accepted in society is to be good at your job. Don't rub people's face and come will say, well, I'm different, and so look at how I'm different. And that's not, you're not going to make friends that way, and you're not going to get yourself, you're not going to be able to integrate yourself into the field. So if you want to go into activism and talk about discrimination, you want to open a case against somebody for doing discrimination. So you do that in a different way. You don't wear that on yourself all the time. I have a kind of, I guess it's kind of a rule that when I'm at work, I look like let's say like this. I look like a very religious person. I don't talk about religion at work. I mean, people will come up to me and ask, when I was working in companies, they'll come up and ask me questions about religion, and I say I don't talk about it at work. This is not. I don't think it's an appropriate conversation for work. If you want to talk about it another time, that's okay, but it's not appropriate work conversation. I've also berated people for talking about the relationships, which you would call, I guess, normal relationships. That's the type of things that this is not proper work conversation. So that's my thought on these codes of conduct. So codes of conduct, I think that they should be more, let's keep the conversation civil, let's keep it on topic. All these things about inclusivity and all these type of things, I don't think we need to do any type of outreach or go and recruit people. If you want to do tech, then you're going to do it. If you see a specific case where somebody's, I don't know. I should have known better than talk about this thing. So, I'm going to stop the stream now. I don't think anybody's watching this. If you want to talk to me, you can find me on the Twitter or the Mastodon or whatever. The whole thing just makes me kind of sad about what's going on with our community and whatever. So I guess let me know if you have any comments, any thoughts about this. I'll probably take this off of YouTube later tonight and see what's going on. Okay, call it.